Yung iba nagpa-excuse, okay lang class. As long as you chat. Okay? Mag-personal message kayo. Okay, so today, continuous probability. If we have the discrete probability distribution class, meron din tayong continuous. Ayan. We need the book class because the tables are necessary here in a continuous and joint probability distribution. Okay? So, wait lang class. Yan. Nasa ME faculty room ako class. Walang ilaw. Okay, para while waiting class, kasi naglo-loading pa yung laptop ko. Nandito ako sa faculty room natin. So, can you download the elementary statistics by Bluman so that you have the book, the table that is necessary here in the continuous probability distribution, as well as the joint. Okay? Kasi sa discrete probability distribution, all we need is the formula and the analysis of a given problem. Okay? We also need the differences. I mean the different tables, the z-test, for z-test, the chi-square test. Okay. So we have 49. So updated kayo class sa news natin. The Ukraine versus Russia. Yes or no? Updated to the recent event. Yes. Kailangan natin class makialam. Okay, dapat updated tayo. A simple trivia, you know, class, the Ukraine and the Russia are battling for the uranium reserves kasi alam nyo ng one fuel pellet sa nuclear power plant, kasi wala pa naman tayong nuclear power plant as the Philippines. We have the Bataan but it's not operational kasi hindi pa nga siya tapos. Compared to other country, nuclear class is cheaper. Yes, they want the nuclear, especially the Chernobyl. Okay? Doon sila nagsimula. They want the nuclear because of when it comes to conversion of the fuel pellet, yung isa class, alam niyo yung class yung sa lapis na na eraser. Ganun kaliit na nuclear fuel pellet or yung uranium natin. Yung class yung fuel mo ha, ganun kaliit. Ang equivalent na nun is 2 barrels or 3 barrels of oil. O ganun siya ka yung equivalent niya. Matututunan niyo yan class sa nuclear. Introduction to Nuclear Engineering. Sa third year niyo. Okay? Ako class yung magiging prof niyo dyan. But for now, Engineering Data Analysis, na-download yun na class yung book. Bakit naglalagang internet dito? Ayan. Pumunta ako class dito sa office kasi naglalag ang internet sa bahay. Okay? Sige nga, good morning faces. Tingnan ko ako naligo na kayo. Kasi ako dito na. Nakaligo na ako. Wow, ayaw. Huwag open ang camera. Ayan. So, yung iba, excuse because may activity class si Dean. So, kailangan ng mga officers. Oh. Wait. Can you wait a little, class kasi Sa edition na yan. Meron po, class. Sa pinakalikuran yan, class. When you are using the book.
Ma'am, anong table po yun?
Table E. I mean table to class A. I mean, nasaan na yung video? Table E, class. Masyado bang maliit? Ito, class. Table E. So, appendix C with the different tables, you can see. Ayan. Class, pa-record na lang, nagka-crash yung aking recorder. Send na lang sa akin mamaya kung may makashare. Okay? Okay, I will start. Nakuha na? Sige, turuan ko na lang kayo mamaya. Okay, thank you. Okay, good morning, class. So here I am again. Sawang-sawa na kayo sa akin. Every Monday and Tuesday, some of you. Kasi konti man lang yung sa EDA and sa termo. I mean, konti lang yung mababawa sa akin ng students during termo. So, sawang-sawa na kayo sa akin, no? Every Monday and Tuesday. But today, class, I will discuss about the continuous probability distribution. Okay? So, balikan natin. We have the variable. We all know that variable is a characteristic or an attribute that can assume different values. Okay? So, we have the random variable wherein it is a variable whose values are determined by chance. Okay? So, balikan natin sa discrete. Dun sa discrete class, you will have the fundamental rule and the permutation, the combination. So, pinaghalo na yon as well as the probability distribution. I mean, the probability in the statistics, pinaghalo na doon. Also here, in the continuous probability distribution. Okay? You have the discrete variables. Ano yung discrete variables natin? We have a finite number of possible values or an infinite number of values that can be counted. Wherein, in the continuous variables, the variables can assume all the values in the interval between any two given values. So, we have now limits. Diba? So, from point 1 to point 2, meron ka na yan. Tinatawag na natin yung interval. Okay? So, balikan natin that normal distribution. Alam nyo yan, di ba class? Normal distribution. We have a normal distribution is a continuous, symmetric, bell-shaped distribution of a variable. Excuse me. So, as you can see in the figure, we have the mean, the given mean. Ayan. So here, class, in letter A, we have the sample mean at problem number 1 is just equal to the mean at 2. Okay, so ibig sabihin, sa gitna yan, class, mean to. Okay, it's a normal distribution. Same means, but different standard deviation. So, papasok na to. Standard deviation. So, we have now a curve 1 and a curve 2. As well as in letter B, we have different means, but same standard deviation. So, pag nakita nyo pa, same yung curve, as in yung shape niya, bell-shaped curve, makikita nyo. So, same yung standard deviation nila. But, take note that their means is different. Yan. Compared to letter A. And as well as in letter C, class, we have the different means and as well as the different standard deviation. So, dito, class, we have the standard. Dito, class, mas narrower yung curve natin. Okay. So, this is the different figure wherein you can analyze the mean median mode by seeing it. Okay? Makikita mo lang. Pag nakita mo na, kaya mong ma-analyze that the mean and the median and the mode. Okay? If it falls under the normal distribution, or it falls in a negatively skewed distribution and a positively skewed distribution. Okay? So, ang pasunod-sunod, class, sa normal, equal po yung mean, median, mode natin. Sa gitna po siya. Okay? Pag sa negative skewed naman, class, mauuna si mean, yan, si median, at saka si mode. Ayan. Pag positively skewed, class, nauuna si mode. Alam niyo yung mode, di ba? What is mode? Sige nga. In the frequency distribution table. Ay, bakit bumalik siya? Ano yung mode, class? In a given, sample. Alam niyo, class, yung mode? Hindi na. The mean, yan. Okay, tama. Yung pinaka-frequent po, ma'am. Okay. So, kung halimbawa, we have the sample is 10 yung sample natin. We have 6 and 5. Mano-mano tayo dito, class. 3. Halimbawa, ito yung mga scores yung sa exam ni ma'am. 2. May 10. May naka-10. And 8. And 5. And 8. Okay. From the given data, for example, class, sa ano lang to, class, ha? Ungrouped data tayo, ungrouped data. Okay, ungrouped data. This is an ungrouped data. Pag ungrouped data, class, iba yung pag-compute ng, you can see it very visually kung ano yung mode. What in the ungrouped, in a group data, we need to compute for that. Okay, so here, dito class, for example, this is an ungrouped data. So, we have 10 samples this course in an exam. So, makikita nyo, ang mode is, what is the mode? What is the mode? You can chat, class. Ano yung mode natin? So, ang mode natin dito, class, is 8. Ayan. Okay. Alam nyo na pala. Hindi kayo nagga. Ayan. So, the mode here is 8. When it comes to an ungrouped data. This is an ungrouped. Yeah. Oh, bakit ayaw niya na? Ayan. Okay. So, this is the orientation wherein nakikita nyo nga, sabi ko, yung mean-median mode nyo in a given distribution. So, dito sa positively skewed, we have the mode, the median, and the mean. Okay? So, what are the properties of the theoretical normal distribution? So, these are approximately the properties of a theoretically normal distribution. So, sabi dito, a normal distribution curve is a bell shape. So, bell shape siya yan, class. The mean, the median, and the mode are equal. Excuse me. Equal and are located at the center of the distribution. Yes, that is located at the center. A normal distribution curve is unimodal. Yan. Isa lang class ang mode niya. It has only one mode. Kasi class minsan dalawa yung mode, minsan tatlo. Okay? So the curve is symmetric about the mean, which is equivalent to saying that its shape is the same on both sides of a vertical line passing through the center. Ibig sabihin class, symmetric. Kung ano dito yung sa kabila, dun din sa, on the left side, yun din sa right side. Okay? So the curve is continuous. Take note, continuous, kaya nga continuous probability distribution. Okay? There are no gaps or holes. For each value of the x, there is a corresponding value of y. Ito yung kukunin natin dito. Okay? The curve never touches the x-axis. Yeah. Never. So, pag magdodraw kayo ng normal distribution class, hindi galing sa x. So, angat siya. Okay? Nakaangat siya. No matter how far in either direction the curve extends, and it never meets the x-axis, but it gets increasingly closer. So, malapit-lapit lang class doon. But it never meets. Okay? Excuse me. So, ito yung tatandaan nyo palagi. Number 7. The total area under the normal distribution curve is equal to 1. Take note, the area is 1 or equivalent to the 100%. Bakit kailangan natin ito? Kasi mag-compute tayo ng area kadalasan. The area under the normal distribution given sa atin yung interval. Okay? This fact may seem unusual since the curve never touches the x-axis, but one can prove it mathematically by using calculus. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, sabi nga natin, hindi siya never meets the x-axis, but unusual siya, di ba, class? Kasi bakit, paano mo nako-compute yun hindi niya siya nag-meet sa x-axis, but we can prove that using calculus. Okay? So, hindi natin yan ipuprove kasi tapos na kayo sa calculus. Okay? Number 8, the area under the part of a normal curve that lies within one standard deviation of the mean is approximately. So, given a class. So, these are the properties within 2 standard deviation, about 95%. Ayan. And within 3 standard deviation, that is 99.7. So, this is the values for in the area is approximately given to us. Okay? So, we proceed now to the standard normal distribution. Okay, so the standard normal distribution is a normal distribution with the mean of 0. This is class the 0. Sa gitna, palitan niya natin ang color. Green. Nakakita ba ang green? So this is the mean sa gitna class. So 0, kadalasan in a standard normal distribution class, the mean is always equal to 0. And the standard deviation is always equal to 1. Yan. So, the area under this curve from -1 to 0 is 34%. Ito, class. So, papasok na kasi yung interval natin, sinasabi ko. So, sabi natin, the curve is symmetric. Kung ano dito sa left, yun din sa right side, which is 34.13%, as well as in the second interval, the -1 and 2, -2, we have the area under that is 13.59, as well as the curve is symmetric. Ganun din po sa kabila, but the interval now is considered as +1 and +2. Okay? And from -2 to -3, we have 2.28. That is the area under that interval, as well as symmetric. Symmetric nga siya. So, dito sa kabila, makikita nyo, that is also 2.28%, but the given interval now is +2 and +3. So, ino-note natin, class, yung positive and the negative. So, if you sum this up, the total of this is 100%. Okay, 100% yung area under the normal distribution. Okay? Naintindihan ba, class? Raise your hands if you understand. Okay, thank you, class, for listening well. Okay, we proceed now. So, if we have now this one, the normal distribution, we can proceed now in finding the area under the standard normal distribution curve. Okay. So, may tinatawag na tayong z-value. Okay. Z-value. Ayan. Look up the z-value in the table and use the given area. Ayun. Kasi, class, kung ano yung z-value natin doon sa given problem, ang kukunin natin is yung area. Sa table kasi, class, halimbawa, -1, -2, may certain corresponding area doon. Okay? Corresponding area that is given. So, kaya sabi ko, gagamit tayo ng table. For example, to the left of any z value. Ayan. So, to the left of that, excuse me, if the problem states to the left of the given interval, so, assumption muna natin yung letter Z, ha? So, we have to the left of that, automatically, pwede natin itong makuha. Ayan. Okay? Kukunin natin yan, we can have this, the positive Z, or, bakit ito? Negative Z. Negative Z yung kukunin natin. Mamaya, i-discuss ko pag may example na. So, parehas lang yan, class, ha? But you will get that negative Z. Okay? Pero sinabi dito to the left. Kaya kung ano yung nasa left niya, yun yung area niya. Okay? And also to the right of any Z value, pag ganito na, class, yan. Ito. Ito yung kukunin mo. And also this one, pag positive Z. Okay? Pero kadalasan, kinukuha natin, class, kukunin natin yung Z value, but magsusubtract tayo sa area ng 1. Bakit? This diagram, Ito class ng buo to, sabi ko baga, yan. The area under the standard normal distribution is always equal to 1. Ang kukunin mo class na positive Z value, ang ibibigay sa'yo sa table is ganito. Ito. Ito yung ibibigay sa'yo. Okay? But since if the problem is stated is to the, ayan, hindi ko pa, ano yung laser natin. To the right of any Z value, magma-minus tayo. 1 minus the positive Z na nakita natin sa table. So, kung ano yung matitira, yun na yung area under that curve. This one class. Ayan. To the right of any Z value. Pag to the left class, automatically, kung ano yung nasa table, yun na yung area niya. And we now proceed to the between any two Z values. Okay. So, ganito class, sabi ko nga, in a continuous probability distribution, we will focus on the intervals between the given points. Okay? So, we look up the both the Z value. Ayan. So, pupunta tayo sa parehas na Z value niya. And, automatically, isusubtract na lang yung corresponding areas. Okay? Diba class, yung positive Z is, ang area na talaga is from, ayan, saan na yung, ito baga class, yung positive Z, ang area niya talaga is from here hanggang dito. And also si negative Z, hanggang dito lang siya. Dito lang. Ito lang. Dito lang siya. So, when you subtract, automatically matitira yung violet, the shaded part dito. Okay? And also this one, isusubtract lang natin. Ano ba to? This one, mag-subtract lang tayo dito. Pag given yung dalawang positive Z and as well as the negative Z. So, mag-subtract na lang tayo. Okay? Pero kung to the left, jackpot class. Kasi kukunin lang natin yung area that is given in the problem. Okay? We proceed. Okay. So, find the area to the left of Z, which is equal to 1.99. Erase nga natin. Ayan. Ay, mano-mano pala to. Okay? So, here, class, to the left of Z. So, yan. Draw the figure. So, we know that it falls under the standard normal distribution. So, i-draw mo siya. After that, in a standard normal distribution, the mean is always equal to 0. So, the desired area is shown in figure. So, ito na class yung figure na sinasabi. And the Z given to us is positive 199. Positive 1.99. Okay, so we are looking for the area under this distribution curve. To the left, yan na, to the left of Z. Ibig sabihin dito, tama ito class. Given sa ating shaded portion of the normal distribution. So, yun yung hinahanap natin. So, since this is an example of the first case, we need to look up the area in the table. Ayan. Anong table, ma'am? Ayan, 0.9767. Saan natin ito makukuha? Ayan. Ay, hindi ko pala sinilip yung table dito. Okay. Okay, paano mag-stop sharing? So, tandaan nyo class ha, yung 1.99. Bakit ayaw niya? Ay, naglalag class. Okay. Ayan. So, dito tayo. Kalimutan ko na yung full screen ito. Nasaan na kaya? Okay, class. So, tandaan nyo 1.99. Let me share the book. Paano na kapag full screen ito, class? Okay, class. So, punta ako sa table E. Kalimutan ko mag-full screen ito, class. Okay. So, ito na, class, yung cumulative standard, the standard normal distribution, table E. So, in your 8th edition, find that table, the standard normal distribution. So, we have the letter C, Z, the cumulative. Okay. So, madaming numbers, di ba? So, this is the negative. But the given to us is positive 1.99. So, we move on to here. 1.99. 99. Nasaan ka na? 99. Ayan. So, how do we use the table? So, this is the table E class. Nasusundan ba si ma'am? Okay. Apo, thank you. So, we have the Z given to us is 1.99. Ayan. Paano ko kaya ito? Hindi pala dito pas nakakasulat. Okay? Pwede ba? So, ito class, the 1.99. Hinighlight ni ma'am. Makita? The 1.9. And the 99 class is also here. Ito. 0.09. Pag in-add mo to, 0.09 plus 1.9, that is equal to 1.99. So, from from the left side of your screen, punta tayo, papunta doon sa 0.99. So, from here, papunta dito sa pinaka dulo. So, we have this one. The 0.9767. Highlight natin. Ayaw mag-highlight class. Nag-lag. Okay. So, take note, the 0.9767, nakuha natin siya using this cumulative standard normal distribution or the table E, the standard normal distribution. Okay? So, nag-gets class? So, pag sinabi sa'yo na, ayan, na-highlight na. Ayan. Nag-highlight na ba dyan sa inyo? Ayan. So, we have now 0.9767 from 1.9 to 0.9. Okay? Naintindihan ba, class? Pero kung sinabi sa problem 1.93, so dito tayo sa column 0.03, ito yung makukuha natin. Iba. Okay? So, malapitan. Ayan. Ayaw niya naman. Ayan. Kung ito yung pinapahanap. But since in the problem is 1.99, ito pong highlighted na 0.9767. Okay? Nakuha ba class dun sa inyong table?
Yes po, ma'am.
Yes po.
Parehas ba yung table nyo dyan sa in the new, how do you call it? The edition?
Opo, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So that is just the basic. Okay, balik tayo sa presentation ni ma'am. So we will find now the, pasensya na class. Lipat-lipat tayo. So that is now your area para mas maintindihan ng classmates natin. Okay? So tama class, 'di ba? Nakuha natin is the 0.9767. So tama, 'di ba? Tama, mali. Ayan. So this one, the 0.9767. So when you convert it into, this is the decimal in decimal form. So we have now the 97.67% of the area is less than the Z, which is equal to 1.99. Okay? Sige nga, hindi tayo sa Zoom. So raise your hands if you understand. Walang thumbs up dito. Okay? Okay? Okay, class. So that is just the first example in the continuous probability distribution. Okay. We proceed. So, sabi ko nga, normal distribution curve can be used as a probability distribution curve for normally distributed variables. Okay, so for every z value on the x-axis, there is a corresponding height or frequency value. So, if given sa atin yung given z value, meron siyang corresponding value din. Okay? Or tinatawag na frequency value. Ayan na. Ito na, class. Find the probability. So, kung kanina, kinuha lang natin yung area, meron na tayong interval ngayon. Okay, so, letter A, find the probability of 0 less than the z, which is less than 2.32. Okay. So, in letter A, we will focus on letter A first. Okay. So, sa letter A class, we have this. We need to find the area. Pag ganito class na may probability, ang pinapahanap sa atin is find the area under the standard normal distribution curve between 0 and 2.32. Okay, so we have now this one. We have the interval 0 and the 2.32. So in the normal distribution line, we all know that the mean is always equal to 0 and the standard deviation is always equal to, ano yung kakalimutan to? 1. Okay. In the standard normal distribution. While in letter A, the given interval is 0 and the 2.32. So, ang equivalent class nitong sinasabi in the probability for this is the area under that standard distribution. Okay? So, hahanapin muna natin si 2.32 in the table and si 0 class, automatically, even though kahit tingnan nyo sa table or theoretically speaking, this is 50%, diba? Kasi kalahati siya. Nasa gitna siya, class. This is 50%. Kasi symmetric yung curve natin. So, 50%. Kahit hindi mo siya tingnan. Okay? So, 0 class. So, punta tayo sa 2.32. Okay? Stop sharing ko muna. Tingnan natin dun sa Z-table. Okay? Excuse me. Nasaan ako? Ayan. So, ayan, naglalag. Oh my God, class. Naglag ang aking Google Meet. Okay, on your edition, 8th edition. So, find the 2.32. What is the value, the 2.32? 0.98. Sige, yung iba po, class. Kasi ito class yung sinasabi ko, kaya open sa statistics. Opo. Wala tayong magagawa yan kasi open talaga. We need the tables. But pag face-to-face class, pinapa-photocopy ko lang yung table mismo. But they can write down the formulas. Okay, 2.32. Okay. Balik tayo dito sa table E. Ha, dito ka palagi sa cumulative standard normal distribution. Wherein yung Z value mo, nakikita mo. So, 0.32. 2.32. So, this is the 2.3. Ayan. Punta ka sa 2.3. After that, this is 2.30, 2.3, 31, 32. Ayan, nakuha niyo yan. Ayan, laglag pa more. Ayan. So, we have 0.9898. Ano nga yung mga sagot niyo? Tingnan ko sa messages. Okay. Nakuha niyo naman pala, class. Okay, so yung hindi nakasunod di class, ito po yung pagkuha. 2.3, tas sa taas niya, class, titingnan niyo. Kaya dapat may ruler kayo, class, ha? Hala, dami ng importansya ng ruler niyo, ha? Pati sa steam table niyo. 0.2, 0.32, 2.32. So, that is 0.98. 98. Okay? So, balikan natin in a continuous. Ayan. Bakit letter B na? Okay, sa 2.32, we have now 0.98. Anong mangyayari? Given sa atin yung interval, so nakuha na natin yung 2.32 na 0.9898. So, sa Z value class, yung Z natin is always 0.5. Okay? So, ganito yung class. So, ito yung ang sinasabi ni 2.32, ito yung area niya. From here, from this class, dito sa linyang to, hanggang dito. Ito, 2.32. So, yan yung area niya. Kasama to. Ayan. Yan yung area niya. And yung Z naman, class, is hanggang dito. Ayan. Ma'am, pang grade 1 yung tinuturo mo. Okay lang. Okay? Ayan. Zoom. Ayun yung bumalik. Okay. So, we have now here. So, dito hanggang dito yung area ni 0. Kalahati. Ito class. Ito. Hanggang dyan lang siya. So, para makuha natin yung area na pinapahanap, given the two interval, sabi dito, the probability of that. So, we subtract the area of 2.32 from the table, which is 0.9898, or which is equivalent to 98%, 98.98%, 98.98, okay? Minus the 50%, which is the value of the area under the 0 interval. So, we have now the difference, which is equal to 0.4898. Okay, so hence the probability is equal to 48.4898 or 48.98%. Okay? Nasundan ba, class? Ayan. Para masusundan niyo ako kasi pataas ng pataas to. It is a yes or a no. Yes or A no, class? Nahirapan ba, class, na? Okay. Ayan. So, we proceed in number 2. We will find now the probability for the given z value, which is less than 1.65. Ayan. So, looking at the table, ayan, 1.65, palaging positive yung pinapahanap. Tingnan nyo nga kung tama yung nakuha, class. Pag to the left, class, automatically that is now less than. Diba? Pag less than, class, to the left of the z value, pag less than. Pag greater than, class, dito sa kabila yung pinapahanap. But since in problem number 2, we have the less than, so ito yung pinapahanap sa the 1.65. Sige nga, on the table, tama po yung value, 0.9505. Opo. Okay. So, yung iba po ba na-download na yung libro? Pasensya na, class. Madami tayong kinukonsumong data kasi you will have to download that book. Okay. So, we have 0.95. Okay. Marunong na mag-read ng table. Sigurado? Sigurado? Ayan. So, we proceed in the third one. This one, class, is the probability that the z value is less than 1.65. In letter C, we proceed with the probability which is the z value is greater than 1.91. Okay, so we all know that this is the standard normal distribution curve, and we have the 1.91. In a 1.91, makukuha nating value is, ano, class? Sa table, paki-comment nga without looking at this. Sige nga. So, punta ka doon sa table, mahahanap nyo, class, is the z value for 1.91 is 0. Siguraduhin nyo, class, na marunong talaga kayo. Sige, exercise po kayo after this. 1.9. Ayan. So, this is the z value of that. But take note, in the problem that is given, the probability is to the z. Okay. Z is greater than. So, take note, hindi naman less than na papunta doon. Ang nakukuha, class, sa table is yung area to the left of that. Ibig sabihin, from the very first start sa 0 to that point, yung nakukuha mo sa table. Ito, class. To this point. Okay? But since in the problem that is greater than, pinapahanap sa atin is yung greater than. So, we all know that the area under the normal distribution curve is always equal to, that is always equal to 1. Okay? So, if we have the area that is equal to 1, we subtract, class, 1 minus the z value at that given or corresponding value, the 1.9. Okay? Bakit magma-minus? Kasi pinapahanap sa problem, the z is greater than this 1.91. So, ito po yung pinapahanap sa atin na area or the probability under that. So, ito, from that point, from that given z value to the right of it. Okay? Pag sinabing to the right, automatically magsusubtract ka ng 1. 1 minus of that value kasi sabi ko nga, from starting point to that given Z value, yun po yung area niya talaga. The 0.9719. Hence, in the given problem, pinapahanap sa atin is the greater of that value or to the right of that value. So, magma-minus po tayo ng 1 kasi the area under this standard normal distribution is always equal to 1. Okay? Naintindihan? Yes or no? Wala. Nakakahabol ba kayo, class? Apo. Okay. So, if we have now this one, the C, we proceed. Okay, thank you, class. Ayan. So, if we have those Z value, we will now proceed to the applications of that normal distribution. Okay? So, ito na, class. Yung Z natin is equal to the X or the value minus the mean over the standard deviation. Papasok na to, class, na equation. Okay. Ayan. For example, automatic example tayo, class, ha? Ayan. A survey by the National Retail Federation found that women spend on average $146.21 for Christmas holidays. Assume that the standard deviation is 29.44%, US dollar. Find the percentage of women who spend less than $160 US. So, assume that the variable is normally distributed. So, paano na to, class? May mga values na. Kung kanina, automatically, pinapahanap lang sa atin is yung specific area under that curve, automatically, punta ka lang sa table, makukuha mo na yung value natin. But here, meron na tayong tinatawag sa problem na class, excuse me, may tumatawag lang kay ma'am. Dean's office, wait. Given na sa atin, sabi ko nga, yung application na using the Z value para makuha natin yung Z value. Okay? So, here, class, the given sa atin is women spend on average. The word is average, so that is approximately, that is now the mean natin. Okay, that is 146. Okay. Ay, hindi ko dala yung iPad. Okay. 146.21. Dali, sandal. We have the standard deviation given. Yan, standard deviation natin, which is equal. Pag ganyan, class, automatically, mag-substitute na lang tayo. 29.44. Ayan. And, tanong sa atin, find the percentage of women who spend less than the $160 US. So, ganito yung assumption natin, class. Yung Z natin, excuse me, hindi Z. X pala. Ayan. So, this is now the value. Okay. Bakit highlighter? So, yung value yung pinapahanap sa atin is less than. Who spends less than 160 US dollar. Okay? Ano yung unang gagawin natin? Hanapin muna natin Z, the value minus the mean over the standard deviation. If If given naman sa natin na lahat, automatically compute na class. Magko-compute na tayo nito. Okay, your Z class, pinapahanap sa atin is the 160. But take note that we assume that the variable is always normally distributed. Okay? So yung X natin, the value pinapahanap is less than. So to represent this class, you draw a standard normal distribution wherein the mean is always at the center. Okay? Always at the center. Ayan, center palagi. Ayan, hindi center yung pakatrol. Okay, so we have the mean, which is equal to 146.21. And in the given problem, that is the Z. Bakit X yung nilagay? Tama pala. Na Z. This is Z class. Z. So, pinapahanap sa atin class is the one who spent less than the 160 US dollars. So, this is the area under that. Okay, from the starting point to the 160 US dollar. In finding the Z value, the X now is considered as 160 minus the mean. What is the mean? Given sa problem class, that is 146.21. Ayan, 0.21. Divide natin siya by the standard deviation. What is the standard deviation? That is 29. Ang bagal ni ma'am. Pasensya na class. 29.44. So we have now the Z value. What is the Z? Kunin ko nga yung calculator ni ma'am. Wait, class. So, in the pasensya, in the table, okay, so we have 160. So, andyan pa ba yung lahat? 0.21 times 29. Hala, mali ata yung nakuha nyo. So, we have 0.4689. So, since class sa table natin, that is a 2 value. This is 0.47. Okay? Ayan. So, 0.47, tama po class yung nakuha natin. Corresponding to that is 0.47. So, ibig sabihin class, we have now the 0.47. Given sa atin yung mean natin. Okay. The standard deviation above the mean is 146. Opo. Above the mean naman class siya, 146 as shown in the Z distribution. So, yung Z natin is, ito class yung mean natin ha. Makanalito kayo dyan sa taas. The mean natin na 0, ito yung 146. Ayan. 46.21. We have the 0.47. Etong 0.47 natin is yung 160. Okay? Ayan. So, if we have this value na 0.47, we need to find the area. Ayan. Using table E. Hindi pa Hindi pa class yung Z value pa lang to Hindi pa to yung area na nakuha natin. Naiintindihan ba si ma'am? Z value pa lang tayo. So, we need to compute for the area under this curve. The area under this curve. So, using table E, we have now the area under that curve to the left of Z. To your left, class, so 0.47. So, from the starting point to that shaded portion, we have 0.47. Okay? Babalik ulit tayo doon sa table natin, sa table E, na 0.47. Okay? So, what is now the value of your 0.47 in your table E class? So, makikita nyo dito is 0.6808. Tama ba, class, on your table? On the 8th edition table? Yan. Okay. So, lahat naman, 0.6808. Okay. So, that is now the area under that value. Given value yung 0.47 natin. So, therefore, eto na class yung answer natin. Excuse me. The 68.08% of women who spend less than $160. Okay? Yan class yung pinapahanap sa atin. The 68%. Okay. So, ito class yung pinapahanap. The woman who spend less than 160% at Christmas time. So, this is now your answer. 68.08%. Okay? Naintindihan po ba, class? This is one of the application of the Z test. I mean, the Z application of the normal distribution. So, given sa atin yung mean, the standard deviation, and the value. Okay? Another one, class. If the first problem involves less than 160, the second problem, class, also involves to the left of that. So, for example, the American Automobile Association reports that the average time it takes to respond to an emergency call is 25 minutes. Average. So this is now the mean. Assume that the variable is approximately normally distributed. The standard deviation is 4.5 minutes. And if the call, excuse me, okay, so if 80 calls are randomly selected, approximately how many will be responded to less than 15 minutes? Okay? Yung 80 calls natin, class, that is now the sample. 80 calls. We have the standard deviation of 4.5 minutes and the average, which is 25 minutes. So, what is the approximately how many will respond in less than 15 minutes? Less than 15 minutes. So, we have now, we will find the area under the normal distribution curve to the left of 15. Okay. We represent it in the normal distribution. We all know that the mean is 25, so that is correct, 25. And the given value, it takes to respond. So, mas mababa siya. So, papunta to the left siya. So, 15 yun, class. Pero, pinapahanap sa atin how will be responded to in less than 15 minutes. 15 minutes. This is in minutes, so that is to the left of that. The area to the left of that. Okay. We compute for the Z value. We have the value minus the mean or the sample. Yung X natin, class, is the sample minus the standard deviation. We have the x given sa problem. We have 80. 80 minus, the mean is 25, minus the standard deviation. What is the standard deviation? 4.5. And 4.5. We have the z. What is the z class? Z, calculate. Have 40 minus 25 divided by 4.5. Ano class yung answer niyo? We have, your z natin is, ano class nakuha niyo po? Pakitap na lang. Okay. Wala. So the z class, the z value now is 3.33. So in the z value class, always take note, 2 decimal tayo kasi sa table natin, 2 decimal places. 2 decimal places. Ayan. Kasi pupunta tayo sa table natin. So dalawang representation class to the z value. Bakit mali? Bakit 80? Ayun, mali pala. Si ma'am. Ay, oo. Okay, take note class. Dito pala sa x value, nag-ulit si ma'am. Yung 80 calls pala class is the given data. That is the sample. But, mali talaga si ma'am. Take note minutes pala. Kaya pala hindi kayo hindi kayo nag-iingay class ha. Mali si ma'am. Okay, balikan natin. So, the representation class is the z 15 minutes pala. Duling si ma'am. So, less than 15 minutes. Less than 15. So, 15 po yung gagamitin para class natin. 15. Kaya pala. Mali to class. Take note. Dito class, mali dito si ma'am kasi positive siya. Positive 33. So, dito dapat siya. But take notes in your representation, dito siya. So, mali na tayo. Dapat yung z value natin nag-fall into the negative part of the z axis. Ayan. Pasensya class, na mali si ma'am. Okay, take note. Ayan. Bakit 80 yung ginamit ko? So you can double check class using this table. Using the representation. Pag dito class yung from sa mean to the left side, kadalas ng value natin ng z value is negative. So, one of the tips and also into this one, the z value is positive. Yan. Okay, sample yung ginawa ko. Kahit mag-error naman talaga yung answer ko. Okay, class? Okay, so mali doon si ma'am. Pasensya na. Okay, so balikan natin yung concentration. This is samples pala class. This is the sample. But since in the problem, it is given how many will be responded in 15 minutes. So, kung ano class yung ni-represent natin sa table, yun din po yung ilalagay natin. So, 15, that is the value. Or corresponding value less than that. Given average, the 25, and the 4.5. Ayan. Class, during examination, double check your x value. So, namali si mama eh. Okay? So, 80 calls. Okay? So, 15 divide minus 25. So, we have 4.5. Okay? We have now negative 2.2. Okay? Negative 2.22. So, we have now the z value. Okay? Ayan. So, yung unang nakuha ni ma'am is positive. So, mali yun. Makikita nyo, if checking that, mali yun kasi hindi naman nag-fall dito sa positive side yung hinahanap natin. So, we need to represent the figure para mas ma-visualize nyo kung saan talaga mag-fall si Z value. Okay? So, we have now the Z value which is equal to negative 2.22. Okay? Punta tayo dun sa table. Table E. What is now the value of the Z? Negative 2.22. Ano po, class? The area under that given value. Okay. So we have now the 1.32. Di kayo class ng salita kanina. Kaya pala walang nagsasagot sa akin. Okay. So we have now the negative 22. Ayan. 0.0132 or 1.32%. Okay? Sabi dito, to find how many calls you will get made in less than 15 minutes. Ayan. Ito na class yung 80. Okay, so 15 minutes. So, given sa atin, we need to multiply the sample size. Tama naman si Ma'am. This is the sample size. And, which is 80. By that of the 0.0132. So, we have approximately to get a call. Ayan. Approximately 1 po siya, class. So, in every 15 minutes, na sample size natin na 80, isa lang yung 1 call will be responded to in under 15 minutes. Okay? Ayan. This is the sample size. Ayan, nalito si Mama. Wala sa concentration. Okay? So, that is now to the left. We have this, the area under that. But when the sample size is given, this is now the answer. Okay? So, tanong sa atin kasi how many calls will be made in less than 15 minutes. Okay? Naintindihan, class? Yes or no? Pasensya na, class, sana nalito si Ma'am. Hindi ko na-check yun. Okay? Now, we move on. Ayan. So, as shown, class, we have the general formula in approximation, in application of the normal distribution, the Z value, which is equal to the, in finding the value of X minus the mean over the standard deviation. So, for X as shown, ayan. So, in finding, the formula in finding the X, class, ito yung gagawin natin. So, you multiply both sides by the standard deviation, you add by the mean to both sides, and exchange both sides of the equation. So, we have now this in finding the X. Pag hindi class stated sa problem yung value natin, wherein it is equal to the Z value. Pabaliktad na to, class, kung kanina, hahanapin natin si Z value ngayon. Si X naman. Okay, times the standard deviation plus the deviation, tama, plus the mean. Okay? For example, ayan. For a medical study, a researcher wishes to select. So you can use the table E, class, ha? Wishes to select people in the middle of the 60%, middle 60% of the population based on the blood pressure. If the mean systolic blood pressure is 120 and the standard deviation is 8, find the upper and the lower readings that would quantify people to participate in the study. Okay. Ang given sa atin is the 60%, middle 60%. We all know that the standard normal distribution is 100%. So, sa gitna ka, 50%. But sinabi middle, 60%. So, divide mo siya sa 2. Yung 60 divided by 2. That is approximately 30. So, 30 on both sides. 30, 30. Bakit 30, 30? Kasi yung curve natin is symmetric. Tinatanong sa atin is 60% of the population, middle 60%. Okay? So, 30% siya, symmetric siya. Ito na pala. Bakit sinulog? Okay? So, this portion is 20%. This shaded portion is 30%. And as well as this, 30 and 20. Okay, symmetric yan, class. So, pinapahanap sa atin is the middle 60% to select people. So, ang hahanapin na natin is the interval from that point, 0.1 to 0.2. The upper limit and the upper readings and the lower readings. And given din sa atin as the mean of the systolic blood pressure, we have now the 120, wherein it always falls on the middle of the standard normal distribution, the 120. So in finding the x, paano natin makukuha yan? What is the first step? Ano yung hahanapin nyo, class? The very first step. Hanapin natin muna is the upper limit. Okay, paano makukuha si upper limit? Ito, using this, finding the z value. Z plus the theta, ay the standard deviation, plus the mean. Okay. Z times the standard deviation plus the mean. So, given sa atin class yung, how do you call this? The mean, the 120. So, 120 ka dyan. We have the standard deviation, the 8. How about the z? Ano to, class? Yung first part natin. From here, class, the area under this curve. Kasi class, in percentage na tayo, naka-percent na yung area natin. So, based from the figure, that is 50% plus 30. So, ang approximately 80%. Tama ba ang pakad ko? Ayan. 80%. Pabaliktad tayo, class. Hahanapin natin yung 0.8 sa table. Hanapin niyo yung 0.8 sa table para makuha natin yung z, cumulative z natin. Sige nga, tingnan nyo nga sa table nyo. Okay. .85. Yung iba. Ano class yung answer niya? Sa 0.84. Okay. Okay, stop share ko muna para maintindihan niyo. Okay, so we have now the 0.8. Wait, class. So, paano mo yun makukuha? Okay. Ay, itong table. So, class, ang given, ang nakuha natin is the area. Okay, area. 0.8. Hanapin mo siya dito sa table. Ayan. Ayan. 0.8. Yung area na, ay wait, bakit? Wala, tuloy ako. Table sina ako. Nangyari. Ito class. 0.8. So, gaya lang class sa term mo. Kung ang given sa'yo is yung isa, pabaliktad mo siya kukunin. So, what do you want? 0.8. Alin class yung pinakamalapit sa 0.8? This is 0.0823 and this is also 0.8. Ano yung gagamitin mo? Mag-interpolate ka ba? Mag-interpolate ka? Mag-interpolate or hindi? Okay. So, since pinakamalapit class sa ating problem is 0.8, ito class yung pinakamalapit na i-round up natin. Rounding up, this is 0.8. So, we find the values of this one. Yung that is equivalent to Z na 0.8 and sa taas 0.4. 0.04. So, pag inad mo to class, the 0.8 plus 0.04, that is now equal to 0.84. Tingnan ko nga kung may mga sagot kayo. Okay, between 0.84 at 0.85, 0.85, 0.84, 0.85. Okay. So, assuming class, we consider the 0.84. Kasi by 0.5, siya na yung pinakamalapit. 0.005. Okay. Pag pina-interpolate sa inyo, pwede naman. Okay? So, tama naman class yung 0.04 and 0.05 nyo. So, we choose the 0.84. Bakit? That is the value closest to the 0.800. Okay? Kasi yung sa sunod class, ang difference niya na is 0.0023 mas class? Mas malaki yung agwat compare sa 0.0005. Okay? So, magagawa ako ng standard ruling when solving this. Okay? Okay, share again the continuous. Yan. So, if we have now the first, so, tama naman si ma'am. Ayan. So, 0.8. So, nakita natin sa ating problem, we have now, so sa 0.8, ang nakita mo sa table is 0.7995. So, ang sunod class dun sa table is 0.823. 8023. Okay? Ito class, ang difference niya sa 0.8 is 0.005. Dito class, 0.0023. So, pinakamalapit po ito. We choose that kasi that is the value closest to 0.8. Okay? So, we have now 0.8. So, substituting that, we have the 0.84. Ito class yung isa-substitute natin yung nakuha natin sa table. The 0.84. Okay? Ayan. Ano ba yan? The 0.84 Z, yung standard deviation natin given sa problem which is equal to 8 plus 120. So this is now the upper limit or the upper readings, the 126.72. Okay. On the other side, on the other hand, so nakuha na natin yung, what is that? 126.72. So the first reading is 126.72. So ito na class yung sa 1 natin. How about the lower readings, the X sub 2? We all know that pinapanap sa atin is the middle part of the 60%, but the area under that from the starting point is ilan? Is 20%. Okay? Kasi to the left yung kukunin natin. Okay? Di ba class? Yung ginawa natin sa first one to the left of that and also to the second, the lower readings of the blood pressure is to the left of that also. Okay? So the area under that, so the area under that is 20%, which is equal to 0.2. 0.2. Punta ka doon sa table E, hanapin mo yung value may 0.2 para makuha natin yung cumulative Z value niya. Okay, on the table, sige nga. Ayan. Sige nga, tingnan nyo nga sa table niya. Tingnan ko din. 0.2. So, wala siya dito sa positive. Hindi pala naka-share screen. 0.2. 0.2. So, may eksakto ba class? 0.2. Ito class. So, makikita nyo 2.32, 2.2. Ang pinakamalapit is negative 84. Tama ba class? Negative 84. Kasi malayo na yung 77. Okay? So, we have now the nawala. Hindi ko na. So, we have the area. Sabi ko 20.2. Makikita mo sa cumulative yung Z niya. Z niya is negative 84, negative 84. Substitute mo yon sa value natin na X in finding the X. That is equal to your Z times the standard deviation plus the mean. Okay, mean. We have now negative of that. Yan, negative 0.84. Ano yung standard deviation natin? Given sa problem, we have 8 plus the mean. Ang mean natin is 120. So, ibig sabihin, magma-minus sa 120. What is now the X? The value at 0.2. Okay? So, kung kanina we have 126.72, okay? This is finding the upper readings. Kanina, positive yun. We have now negative. This is the upper readings. 26. The negative of that is 100.20. Therefore, the middle part or the 60%. So, pinanatin na rin is from that 113.28 less than of that value of x, or less than 126.22. Okay? Naintindihan ba, class? Raise your hands if you do. If not, okay then. Ulitin na, ma'am. Thank you. So, we proceed next. Ayan. Ito, class, mahirap na. Need to determine the normality. Okay, so how do we determine if the given problem falls under the normal distribution? Excuse me. So, papasok ng class yung pairs of x natin, skewness. So, a normally shaped or L-shaped distribution is only one of the many shapes that a distribution can assume. However, it's very important as many statistical methods require the distribution of the values be normally approximately normally shaped. So there are several ways to check if the distribution falls under the normality. So check normality. So they say to draw a histogram for the data and shape. So yan yung kadalasan ginagawa natin. The histogram given data. If the histogram is not approximative, then the data are not distributed. Makita sa tanong, assume that the data is normally distributed. So in determining this, the normality, we have to understand it. And times the minus the median over the S or the skewness. If index is greater than 1 or less than 1, it can be concluded that they are significantly skewed. Okay? Ayan. Another method is just check the normality is the normal quantile. So, quantiles, and fractals, tinatawag kadalasan siya. So, values are calculated the data set into approximately equal parts. Okay? So, if we have the data given, ayan, we have the survey, 18, high technology for the number of days in rendering they had determining the data are approximately normally distributed. Okay, so given data natin. Okay, so given histogram, so how do we construct a frequency table class? So, mahaba class. So, nakiklas ng frequency table. Gumawa ng frequency table in a data. Yes, or yung pag-check. Okay. Pag-check niya kung marunong kayo. Is madali lang dito. Okay. Oh. Okay. So, in doing, you have 5 over 29. So, may data tayo. So, kinuha yung different class na in the frequency. We have this now, the data set. So, sabi dito, since kitang-kita naman yung histogram test publishing, we can get the distribution is updated. So, looking for skewness, we use the period of skewness. Okay, from data, hinanap natin yung mean, the median, ano yung S nyo? Okay, ano yung S nyo? from this data. What is your S? 2 plus 3, 5 plus 4, 9, 5, 4, 10, 16, 17, and 18. So we have S class in the given problem. You have the mean, the 9 point, median is 77.5. What is S? What? Sige nga. Wait, ay, class review pala ako. Ano pa sa natin? What is your S? That is class on how do we determine the normality. Okay? So, chinecheck lang natin yung skewness niya as well as the different values. Kailangan natin normality niya class. Kailangan natin kasi kadalasan hindi man talaga yung data hindi pala ina-assume na okay? Ano yung S? Ano class yung S natin? Ano yung S doon? Doing that. Today, we will find the mean, divide mo siya ng mean, and the standard deviation. Pag yung distribution mo, we have the mean, the sample, the frequency, makukuha mo yung mean mo using that frequency table. Okay? So, kailangan sa amin kinukuha din na standard error nun. Nahanap ko kasi kung ano yung term ng S natin. Ano nga ba yung on your kasi compute niya yung kasi with this data set sample mean we have now this one 79.5. What is S? Sige nga. we do have bakit ako nabasa? So, i-substitute mo lang to, automatically, kukuha mo na yung Pearson Index. Obscureness. Sabi dito, in this case, that is greater than less than 1. So, we can conclude that this is significantly skewed. So, ang mga outliers class, the interquartile, the IQR, the interquartile range na tinatawag natin. So, we have the Q1. So, sinutok nas kadalasan ang kailangan natin ng outliers. Okay. So, balik ko to class. So, para makaproceed tayo sa central limit natin na wait. Pearson. Yeah. Wait, just tawag sa akin.